Hi, I'm Eric Christoph with Transformative Management Solutions, and today we're going to talk about outline codes. Outline codes in MS Project are a way to organize your tasks into hierarchies, like the work breakdown structure, the integrated master plan, or the organizational breakdown structure. They're an alternative to summary tasks. With summary tasks, you can only generate one hierarchy in your schedule, but with outline codes, you can generate up to 10. Let's take a look at a sample schedule and see some of the features of outline codes. One of the best things about outline codes is the color coding of each level. This, combined with the ability to easily expand or contract any level, makes it really easy to navigate your schedule. If you need to expand or contract the entire project, you can come up to the outline feature in the project ribbon and do the entire project all in one click. Within each level, you can summarize all of the data for the tasks that are in that level. So in this case, I'm summarizing by cost, or I'm picking up the early start date or the late finish date. And finally, another great thing about it, when you use an outline code and go to print, you can pick up the view in the print. So now that we've seen some of the features of outline codes, let's go build one. To build an outline code in MS Project, first go to the Project menu and then click on this Custom Fields feature. You'll get the Custom Fields dialog box. You're going to use a task field, and you're going to choose outline code. Pick whichever one you want. We'll start with outline code 1 here. I'm going to name this IMP for Integrated Master Plan. So I've renamed the field, but now I need a lookup table. So I go to Lookup, and I start with the code mask. The code mask defines how our hierarchy is going to be structured. I hit Edit Mask, and in this case, there's going to be 3 levels. The first one's going to be the event level, and I'm going to use 2 characters because it's going to be E1 through E9 with a dot separator. The second level is going to be accomplishments, and I'm going to need 3 characters for the accomplishments. And the reason is there's going to be more than 9 accomplishments for some of the events, so I'm going to have to go 01 through 99, A01 through A99. Exact same thing with criteria, which is the bottom level of our hierarchy in this example. It's going to be C01 through C99. There are going to be spots where there are more than 9 criteria for certain accomplishments. With the mask set up, we hit OK, and you can see the mask preview up here. So let's put in just some example values. We'll say E1 is event 1. We're going to say accomplishment 1 is accomplishment 1. And what you can see here is it went red. Why did it go red? Because it thinks it's at level 1, and level 1 can only have 2 characters based on our code mask. So to clear that up, we're going to tell the lookup table that this is really level 2, and we do it by indenting underneath the E1, which is level 1. I'm going to add a criteria and do the same thing because this criteria belongs to this accomplishment. Now we've got a 3-level hierarchy in our lookup table. You do not have to have a root element. I can take these, I'm going to do a quick copy, and I'm going to pull this event back to level 1 and push this criteria down to level 3, and you notice now I've got 2 root levels. This is red because you can't have the same value on the same branch at the same level. So you can't have 2 E1s on the same branch, so we're going to make that E2, and that clears up your hierarchy. So now we've got 6 elements in our lookup table. We're matching our code mask. We're showing a hierarchy. And the last thing we want to do is say allow only codes that have no subordinate values. This is really important. You don't want to allow people to assign tasks to elements that have child elements. That's bad practice. It messes up all your roll-up data. Don't do it. Last thing, if you've got a larger lookup table, this is a lot easier to build in Excel and then copy it over and then do the indenting after it's copied. I've got a couple large hierarchies I want to use for this example. So I'm going to go into professional speed for a minute. You guys hang on. I will be right back. All right, now that we have our outline codes built, let's take a look at how they really work in Project. So the first thing we want to do is make them visible. So we're going to add IMP, which is one of the outline codes that I made. The other one was PWBS. So we're using insert column, and we're making these two columns, and I'm just going to make them a little bit wider to make it easier to see. Okay, and now let's take a look. We did our code mask, we did our lookup tables. Now when you pick the drop down, look what this does for you. There's the whole lookup table, indented just the way you want it. It's got its value, it's got the description. You can scan through the entire table that you've put together. You can collapse and expand it. Much easier to look through more complex hierarchies using this outline code lookup table structure, right? And when you assign something, it creates the number for you based on your code mask and the values that you put in at each level. So then PWBS, same thing, right? Here's a full, this is actually the standard IT WBS for a Department of Homeland Security major program. Same thing. You can scroll through the entire WBS and get to the part that you're interested in. So to see how that works with tasks now, the important thing is tasks can't cross elements. You can't have a single task in 2 WBS elements or in 2 IMP elements. So looking at what we've got here, let's do a quick example. If we take the very first item in the acquisition lifecycle, the capability analysis report, and we look at our PWBS and we say, well, the capability analysis report is very early phase, it's probably planning phase program management, and let's say that we're talking about the contractors. So the task now has to map into both of those structures. So we're going to say develop, draft, capability, analysis report, aka the CAR, and we're going to say contractor inputs, because this is the effort that goes into building the capability analysis report by contractors, right? And if we want to capture the government portion of the effort, we can just copy that task. We use the same IMP because it's still the CAR, but the PWBS now is government personnel. And all we have to do over here, is change contractor with government. Okay. That's it. Just don't cross the lines. Don't go outside of the WBS elements. Need to add a lot more sample data for all of this to work. So hold on just a second while I take care of that. Now that we have a bunch of sample tasks with a little bit of logic, some resource loading, and all tied out to a bunch of IMP and PWBS codes, let's go look at how we view that in the schedule. To build a group by, what we're doing is we go to the View menu, and then the Data Group and the Group By drop down here, and we are going to build a new group by so that we can see our outline code in the Gantt chart. We'll do the IMP first because it's easier. We'll name it IMP, Show in Menu, and then the Group By field is going to be the outline code that we made earlier. And these different levels in the group by correspond to the levels in the code mask. So this first one's going to be event, and the way we tell it that is we go to define group intervals. Instead of grouping on each value, because we did outline codes, we can use level. And this is going to be level 1 for the events. Then to put the accomplishments in, same thing, it's still the IMP, it's still the outline code that we built, task, but this time we go to level, and it's going to be level 2. Last one, it's going to be level 3. We go by level, because it's an outline code, make it level 3. Given it a name, show in menu, defined our 3 levels, and we save. Okay, the WBS actually had 6 levels, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and get back to you in a second. That works. Now it's time to apply that grouping that we just built to our schedule. So super easy. We'll do the PWS first. We go to View, Data, Group By, and we're going to select PWS, the group that we just made, and that's just wonderful. Look at that. It's gorgeous. All of our levels are in. We can do all of our exploding and collapsing and see all of our summaries and everything that we want from an outline code, right? But we made two. What about the IMP? Well, we come up to Group By. There's our IMP. And hey, wait a minute. What's this? This is a mess. 2B here, 2B there. Okay. This is because the Group By works on the task list as it is. It does not automatically resort. So in order to get the IMP to look right, we're going to have to resort. So we remove the group. You'll see that the sort is all sorted by PWS. It's the way we had it before. We go to Data Sort. We sort by. And here we sort by IMP. Now we're sorting by our outline code. This is why the 2 and 3 character and the leading zeros in the code mask are so important, because otherwise the sort won't work. So sorting by the outline code, and we go ahead and permanently renumber the task. It doesn't hurt anything. Hit sort. Now we're sorted by IMP. We can come in, get our group by IMP, and now it looks like an IMP. It looks like events, accomplishments, and criteria. And there we go. And that's outline codes in Microsoft Project. I find that they are one of the most useful and versatile features of the product. It's a great way to navigate the schedule and to zoom in on any areas of specific interest. I also particularly like that in the Group By view, you get the long description and not just the code value when you're looking at it. If you have any thoughts or would like to request a future video, please let me know in the comments. I hope you found this information useful. If so, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.